Good morning and welcome to the Stick with Rick. We're out here with a special episode this week. I'm going to get a little dark on you. I'm going to show you just how much destruction that we cause to get the things in the world that we need today. How bad it's gotten and how much damage and destruction we have done to this country, to this landscape, just to get our computers, our cars, our electronics, our phones. Just take a walk with me. I'm going to show you the Ray mine here and just how much destruction has gone on. Now the ore out here, they say, is less than 2% copper. So there's a whole lot of ore they've got to destroy just to be able to get a little bit of copper to make some wire, to make a computer chip. We'll go ahead and turn the camera around, let you see the mine from out here. What I can show you of it, just show you the landscape around, how the mountains look, and what they've done exactly out here. Now, as we start off over here to the left, you can see this is a nice mountain landscape. Plenty of hills and whatnot. And then as we come over to the right, you can see where they've blown apart this mountain here. This entire mountain range used to be just as high as those over there. But now this stuff here has all been taken down, all been destroyed, all the way across that valley over there. Now as we get down the road here a little bit, I'll be able to show you a little bit more. The sun won't be quite as much in our face, but you can see over there on the landscape, the mountains in the back, those are nice and high. But now this big valley they've created, all this ore they've destroyed for 2% of it to be copper. It's a whole lot of destruction. It's a whole lot of mountain, a whole lot of history that we've had to destroy just to be able to get the things in the world that we think that we need. As you can see a little bit more here, and then I'm on the other side of the road. There's quite a big valley they've created down there. Just blown apart that entire mountain. Alright, now I want you to pay attention to this hill here. You see all that rock, you see all that rubble. You'd think that might be a natural hill. No, that's just how much debris from this one little area they've stacked up, and rock they didn't use, they've blown apart. They've had to build up out here. That's a whole lot of rubble. That's a whole lot of destruction. As we come around, you can kind of see just how much they've created over there. That entire wall is just rubble. That's stuff that they've had to reuse to kind of keep things safe out here. And a better way to get rid of all their waste. That way they're not filling landfills or whatnot, but that's still a whole lot of destruction and a whole lot of damage. As you can see, that's just miles and miles and miles of destruction and rubble. Look at all of that. That all came out of the ground. That was all blown up rock. For miles they got that high. Imagine how much mountain that took. Imagine how much history got buried in them rocks. Alright guys, on to a more happier part of the hike out here. We're going to take a little bit of the Arizona Trail today. Now the first step we come to is this old lean-to right here, built for shelter. Not sure how long it's been here, if somebody reproduced this or if it's from the 1800s, but it's pretty cool to look at. Pretty good landscape today. Hope you guys enjoy this short hike with me. I'm not sure how far I'm going to go. I haven't been out here yet. Not sure what there is to see, but we're going to go over these hills here, check out the valleys, and hope you guys enjoy the hike with me. As I continue the hike out here, folks, I just want to remind you, stop by my sponsor, the Sugar Shack. Try out some of her desserts. Because you know, life is too short for boring desserts, and she's got some great cookies and cupcakes for y'all. Hopefully we'll find some delicious views out here today. See the squirrels all running around down there and the birds out today. Hopefully it's a good day. Hope y'all had a good week and your families are doing well. I hope you took my challenge and got somebody a cup of coffee this week. Sat down and had a conversation. Hopefully made your lives a little bit better. Hopefully you helped somebody else out. Touch their lives. Because you know, in this world, that's all we can do is try and do the best for those around us. Try and help everybody have a better day. Now out here on the Arizona Trail, this goes from Mexico all the way up to Colorado. Used to be the route of the travelers through the years, coming up and going down. Nowadays it's used mainly by hikers and illegals. you come across little water bottles and stashes out here that I think they call them angel people leave for these illegals coming through. But, you know, I guess that's just part of life. We're on stolen land as it is. Don't know how much claim we have to it, but we're here and we call it ours. Which way does this trail go? Ooh, there looks like a bunny rabbit or something up here. What is that big thing running around? Where'd it go? I guess that's not the trail. Oh, no, it goes to the right here. There we go. Don't know what that animal was. Probably a hare. Look bigger than a squirrel. See all the nice cactus. I'm blooming right now. Got all them flowers on top. You can just imagine folks being a Spanish settler, somebody coming up from Mexico walking these hills, just how hard it is to make this kind of journey. How much determination you must have to make it all the way through these hot hills and through the animals and cliffs and whatnot. I mean, thankfully this area here is pretty easy to navigate, but I'm sure it'll get harder as time goes on. Especially since this trail isn't the easiest to follow. You can see all the beautiful mountains there in the background. Good day out here, guys. Oh, hot one today. Already up in the 90s and ain't even 10 o'clock yet. Don't know how long I'm going to be hiking today. My plan was to just show you the mine, but there wasn't as many stops as I thought there was, so I figured I'd come out here and at least show you guys some of the wilderness around it. Show you what it looked like before it got destroyed. As you can see, there's plenty of landscape out here, plenty of wildlife, plenty of trees. Over there, there's nothing but destruction. Look at how much life is just right here in this spot. All the trees, the birds, ground squirrels and lizards. We destroyed that for them over the side of this hill here, just so that we could have a computer, so we could have a cell phone. Now, I don't know about you, but in my life, it's nice to have. I don't really think it's worth all that kind of destruction just to get it. Just to destroy nature so that we can have a few extra luxuries in our life. To destroy history without looking. To close our eyes to the world around us just so that we can have a few more luxuries. Now, somebody gone to where you come from, your family home. I know that doesn't matter a lot to most Americans anymore. What if somebody went there and just blew that up? How'd you feel? Somebody just put a stick of dynamite in your mama's old house, your grandmama's old house. Blew that thing sky high. Now, I'm sure you probably wouldn't appreciate it. The same way our ancestors and those that came before us don't appreciate us blowing up all the work that they made to make the homes out here, to make the history they had out here. Think about that the next time you buy a computer, the next time you buy a cell phone. You spend $1,000 on a piece of plastic. Is it really worth destroying everything that I'm looking at? Is it really worth blowing this all up just so you can have an electric car? I don't think so. Maybe some of you do, maybe some of you don't care. But you know, that's unfortunate. I told you this week was going to be a little dark. I'm going to harp on a few of the things that I don't like about this world. As you can see all the way through that crevice right there, you can tell how much destruction was done even from here. You can see it, the white sands, the rock. how much mountain is behind what they blew up. It's a whole lot, guys. Are the luxuries you have in life really worth that much destruction all over this country? And you know, the new Oak Flat project going in is going to do the same thing. And unfortunately, it's got the chance to take out the entire town of Superior if they do it the way that they're talking about doing it. But you know, I guess since it's supposedly one of the largest copper deposits in the world, and it's only at a 1 to 31 ratio, I guess it's worth blowing up 31 tons of rock to get one piece of copper. If you're a scientist, I guess, or a miner, or whatever. $31 tons, guys. Imagine that. Your average dump truck holds about 2 tons. So that's 15 dump trucks just to get a little bit of ore. You got to destroy 15 dump trucks of land, 15 dump trucks of history just to get one little bitty piece of copper. Is your life and the luxuries in your life really worth all that? Me, I'd much rather wake up in the morning, thank the Lord for a world I can live in, a world I can enjoy. Thank the Lord that there's still places out here where I can see the hawks fly, where I can listen to the ravens squawk, where I can see the squirrels run across the ground. Be thankful that life in some of this nation is still the way that it was meant to be. Because you know, I enjoy these hikes. I enjoy showing you guys this nature. And as time goes on, less and less of this we're going to have. It's unfortunate. So I'm glad I decided to start making these videos for you guys, because you're one of the last ones that are going to be able to see such a beautiful nation before we turn it all to hell with the mining, the fracking. Now I get we need oil. I get we need other things. We want to be energy dependent. Well, there's plenty of places with good concentrations that we can take from. We don't need 1 in 31 ratios. We don't need to destroy an entire ecosystem just to make ourselves a little bit better. So why do we choose to do so? Is it that we're ignorant? Or is it that we just flat don't care as long as we have the things in our lives that distract us from the things that are actually going on? Oh, it's a little warm today. A little hike to all these little cactuses and trees and listen to the birds chirp. Oh, there's a nice long-tailed lizard. You know there's going to be some snakes out today as hot as it is, but hopefully our trail stays pretty clear. Ooh, and that's either a coyote or a wildcat. That'd be a big wildcat, so I'm hoping that's a coyote. I only got this stick with me today, and I really don't feel like taking on any lions. As you can see these hills out here, all the red rock, how rich some of this soil is. You can only imagine how many people made their homes back in these hills. This is good fertile land. Now guys, this is probably one of the better shots that I'll be able to show you just the destruction that I was talking about. Take a look right across from me at all that rock and all that rubble that's fallen. Oh, it's a lot of mountain. You can see that those other mountains behind it are at least 1,500 to 2,000 feet taller than what they've blown up. That stretches on for more than 5 miles. Now, 2,000 feet times 5 miles. You figure out how much rock that is. That's how much they've blown up, how much they've destroyed, just to make you a little bit happier. Alright guys, if we're real quiet, I'll be able to show you just how much wildlife's out here. Got a little rabbit right in front of us. See if I can sneak up on it. Or at least chase it out where you guys can see it. Where did you go, little rabbit? Be very, very quiet. We're hunting rabbits. There it is. We're hunting rabbits. Now, guys, as I continue on this hike, I've got a theme going. You know, 2 weeks ago, I challenged you to communicate with somebody you know. Last week, I challenged you to communicate with somebody that you don't know. Well, this week, I got a new challenge for you. It's all about yourself. I want you to take 10 minutes out of one day this week. I want you to write down 10 things that you like about yourself. 10 things you think you can fix. Now, when I say fix, I'm not talking little things like, oh, I could balance my budget, I could quit smoking. I'm talking about the big things, guys. I could communicate with my wife a little better. I could treat my sons a little better. I might be able to treat the world around me a little better and be nicer to people. Maybe it is that I need to stand up for myself, take responsibility for my actions. Maybe it's something as simple as I need to wake up every morning and thank God that I'm here. Thank Jesus that I have a future. Tell him that I'm sorry I'm such a sinner. Because, you know, sometimes it's the simple things like that, which are a lot deeper than the things that we think are big. Our bills, our smoking habits, our whatever, you know. It's the things that touch our soul, the things that touch our spirit we really need to focus on. Get our mind in tune with the world, in tune with God, in tune with Jesus. Get our souls in tune with the universe and really feel everything around us. Because as more time goes on, the more we dull our senses. The more we fill ourselves with computers, with games, with television, pornography, whatever it may be that you do, we poison our minds, we poison our spirits by not enjoying the nature, the natural beauty, the things that God gave us in this world to survive with. So just take some time this week, guys. Think about 10 things you like about yourself and 10 things spiritually, physically, mentally that you can really focus on and fix. See if you can make your life, see if you can make your family's lives a little bit more enjoyable. Just say, guys, I want to thank you for tuning in, listening to my stick. I know it's not for everybody, and people that know me may think, well, that guy's crazy to be talking like that, because we know where he comes from and we know who he is. But you know, everybody can change, just like Saul turned into Paul. I've turned a corner in my life, guys, and I'm enjoying my life. I'm enjoying the fact that God showed me the lessons throughout my life, the hard times, what needed to change, what needed to get better, and that he can still continue each and every day to point out the things that I need to be better for him at. All I need to do is listen. And I'm glad that the Lord Jesus has given me the patience to listen and understand what they want out of my life. And I just hope these journeys out here talking to you guys, spending time with you, can show you that good things can happen, that people can change. They don't always have to be evil. They don't always have to have hatred in their heart. They can continue to grow. They can continue to love and learn things. And I challenge you all each day to learn something new. Not just about yourselves or about the world, but about the people around you. Just learn. Take a few minutes to listen to the conversations going on. Take a few minutes to pay attention to the rooms that you're in and the attitudes that the people have. Because, you know, if you take the time to be a little quieter, a little more patient, you can learn a lot more about the world around you. And, you know, they say knowledge is power. And if you use that knowledge properly, it can be mighty powerful. Especially when it comes to brightening somebody's day or making somebody's life a little bit easier. You know, this hike out here is pretty easy today. It's not a lot of ups and downs or cliff climbing, but it's been pretty nice. All sorts of trees and wildlife. And you can see from some of the rock tumbled in here that at one point there's some explorations. So that's pretty neat to think about. Now, as I meander down this winding trail here, I can definitely see how hard it is for the immigrants to make this journey, or to have made this journey in the past. It's quite hot out today. Already gone through half a mile of water. I was hoping maybe I'd get to one of these trails to take me to the top of a ridge, and maybe we'd have some views, but it just keeps meandering left and right. Back up a little hill, back down another little hill. Not a whole lot to see quite yet, but it's been a good journey. Different animals and whatnot. But you can see just how long and how hard this journey is for those that decide to make it. There ain't no water near here. Ain't nothing around to really survive on unless you know how to hunt. So this travel is very difficult for anybody that tries to make it. Today, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, it's still just as dangerous, still just as hot, still just as tiring as it always was. Makes you wonder how bad people's lives are, that they're willing to walk thousands of miles on a trail like this, across the border where they know they're not welcome, just to try and make it here in America. Now, I know some of those are bad actors. Some of them are terrorists and whatnot, but, you know, to walk this many miles, you got to be pretty desperate. And yet we just turn around. Now, a lot of people would sit here and say, and I even thought, you know, illegal immigration, that's bad. They got to come in here the right way. They got to do the right thing. But, you know, there's so many other things in this country that are bad that we don't stand up for. The 30,000 missing kids, the rapes and molestations, the murders, the crimes that don't go unsolved. We don't say a whole lot about that. But we are willing to say, well, you crossed the border illegally, you got to go back. We got to send you to prison. Well, those of you who think that's the right thing to do, I don't know if I can disagree with you as much as I can say I don't agree with you. I do think anybody that wants to make a chance out of their lives should have that opportunity. Now, they should come in, they should do it legally. But if they don't, I mean, at least they should learn English, get a job, produce in society. As long as they do that, then how can you really fault somebody for trying to make a better life for their wife and kids? Because, you know, if you're stuck in some podunk nowhere, no water, no electricity, you'd probably want to do the same thing. If your country looked a lot like this does here, like some of it does in South America, with just little villages scattered around with not a whole lot, you'd probably want a chance at the American dream as well. So when you sit here and you condemn these people, just remember all the blessings that you have. Remember that you don't have to try and survive in a landscape like this. You've got your house, you've got your car, you got all the necessities to make you happy. You might think that you're the only one that deserves that, or anybody in this country is the only one that deserves that. But personally, I believe everybody deserves a chance at freedom. Everybody deserves a chance to live the life that they want to live, as long as they do it the right way. Sounds crazy coming from me, a guy that used to think himself as a staunch Republican, but the more time goes on, the more I realize it's just WWE. You know, the Democrats are no different than D-Generation X, and the Republicans are no different than the NWO. Just a bunch of characters up on a television screen making you believe what they want you to believe. Just like I showed you last week with that little cave. That little piece of history they're trying to hide from you just to make life different. You know, I don't know. I don't know what the excuse is, land development or whatever. But that little lie just shows you how much they can mislead you. So in your life, try and just think of what's right in your heart. Don't go by what people tell you or how things should be. Go about how you think things should be in your life and in your heart, how you should treat people, how you'd want to be treated. You know, that's the main thing in this world. We get so upset at the way people treat us, but we don't stop to take 10 seconds to think about how we treat other people, how we act towards other people, how we talk towards other people. Imagine if half the things you said to somebody were said to you, how mad would you be? If half the things you said about somebody were said about you, how mad would you be? These are the things we need to take the time to think about in our lives. Doesn't matter when the next episode of American Idol comes on, as much as it does the next time you see somebody, how you treat them. Is that person you were a dick to last time you saw them, did you take the opportunity this time to apologize, try and be a little nicer, try and see the way they think of things? Or are you just a dick again? Alright guys, this hike here for you, I'm sure you just heard me babble for a little while. You haven't really seen a whole lot, because I haven't really seen a whole lot other than the landscapes, but I hope you're listening and enjoying the episode, thinking about the things that I'm saying. Alright guys, I get here to the bottom of the wash, finish my first bottle of water, and take me a short little break. Turn back around and head to the truck. I want to thank you guys for enjoying this week's episode and coming out here with me. Again, I want to thank the Sugar Shack for sponsoring this week's episode and remind you guys that life is too short for boring desserts. So go grab you a cupcake, go grab you a cookie. Get you something tasty from the Sugar Shack. While we're down here in this wash, guys, we're looking around, trees and the life around us. Listen to those birds chirping in the background. Just want to remind you guys that I'm thankful to have you in my lives. Thankful that you guys tune in and listen to me every week. Because you know, it's not every day you get to talk to as many people as these videos reach. So I hope that some of the people that listen to this, some of the people that watch it, take the time and help improve their lives, help improve the lives of the people around them. They take the time to think about things in their lives that matter. Because you see, folks, there's only a few things in life that really actually do matter. How is your family? How are the people around you? How do you treat them? How do you love them? How do you love the world? And how do you love God and Jesus? Those are the most important things in life. Everything else, as long as you do those things properly, will take care of themselves. Oh, a little cactus out here. This would be a nice little camping spot. I don't know if I would, though. I've seen quite a lot of tracks out here from coyotes and wildcat today. Sure, this is a lively little valley for those kind of animals. It's far away from population, people. The poisons that we put in the universe and into the environment. It's a nice clean area out here. It smells clean, looks clean. Not a lot of trash. It's nice. Alright guys, believe it or not, this spot here, this little hill that I'm on, see this little hill? I'm standing on top of what probably is a whole lot of gold. You got quartz vein that runs right here. And it intermingles in all this rock. But you can follow that vein as it cuts right through here, all the way down that way. That means underneath here, there is probably some gold. Now, because it's part of the Arizona Trail, I imagine that it's protected. So nobody can get a claim in this spot. But it's pretty neat to come across all this quartz rock here. And you can see some of the orange in the veins. I doubt it's gold up this far, but down below us, I imagine there's a whole lot of money, guys. Now, as we get out of here, guys, I'm going to give you a nice long look over at mine. Just see, let you appreciate how much destruction that you helped cause just to get your cell phone and your computer, just to get your smart car. It was you over there. See it all? All that destruction? Remember that next time you sit down and get on Facebook. Remember that next time you sit down and play yourself a video game. See all that land over there? There's places like that all across this country you've helped to destroy. You might say, well, I don't know any of those companies. I don't get involved in none of the mining. I don't do any of the work. That's not me. I didn't do none of that. You're the one buying that product. You're the one spending the money they use to blow apart these mountains, to destroy our history. They might say, well, I'm from Florida, I'm from New Jersey, I'm from Georgia. I ain't got nothing to do with Arizona history. Oh, folks, the natives out here that started this land, I do believe started way, way before anybody believes they did. They were here before the Americans. They helped the Americans. If it wasn't for some of the Indian tribes out here, the Americans never would have beat the Apaches. They didn't have what it took. But they used the Pima. They used some of the other tribes out here to help them scout, help them get around the lands, help them kill the other Indians. So when it comes to history and it comes to stuff like that, you know, if it wasn't for the natives that were here, if it wasn't for the people that came way long before you did, you wouldn't have what you have. You wouldn't be what you are. We wouldn't be what we are as a country. Keep that in mind as you continue your life. There are a lot of people that came before you to make sure that you had the life that you have now. There's a lot of people that sacrificed, a lot of people that died just to get you where you're at. Maybe next time something small happens in your life, you won't get so aggravated, you won't get so angry. You realize that it's just something small in life that happens from time to time. You take a breath, take a minute, and smile, and go on with your day. Because you ain't dead. You ain't hurt, nobody stabbed you or shot you, nobody kicked you in the knee. Now your feelings might be hurt, you might be in your little crybaby soapbox for a minute. But does that really matter in the whole grand scheme of things, or are most people gonna forget what happened 3 days from now? I guarantee you most people, when it comes to the feelings, a couple days they all go away, they all change. Like I said, you can kind of see on the way back to the truck how meandering this trail is, up, down, left, right. I think I've gone in a circle once or twice, just come back around and go back up again, but this is the Arizona Trail. This is the way they decided to go. Wouldn't have been the way that I went, but hey, we're following it. It's a piece of history. It's been here for over a couple 100 years now, so hope you guys are enjoying this. This trail here is one of the first trails through from Mexico to Colorado ever, and we're walking on it. That's pretty neat. You can see up there some of the diggings. Sure, there's a mine up there on that hill that was covered in, or at least that's where part of Ray was explored before they found what they were looking for. Oh. Yes, sir, this is a nice piece of history right here. Gives you a tour, a look into the lives, into the travels of those that made their way through this country, that pioneered this country. How hard it was on them. You know, it's well over 90 now. I went through my first bottle within 2 miles. It means it's pretty hot out here. And if it wasn't for that bottle of water and the other bottle of water I have, it'd be darn near impossible to make a hike like that. So can you imagine how much water you'd have to try and carry, how much supplies you have to try and need just to make it, just to get from one place, one country, into ours. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of effort. More effort than a lot of you are willing to put in a day. And you get paid for it. They have to do this just to survive. In their minds. A lot of them anyway. Not all of them. Can you imagine going up, down, around all these little hills? all the way from Mexico to Colorado, or Guatemala through Mexico to here. It's a lot of walking, a lot of tired, long days. And they're doing basically the same exact thing that we did in the 1800s. I may not like it, may not agree with it. That's exactly what we did. We came into native land. It was owned by somebody else. It's actually owned by Mexico. Which, hey, that means they were Spanish, just like the Guatemalans, the Venezuelans, the Mexicans. It was owned by them. We came here and we said, nah, we're taking this. Sorry about your luck. You don't like it, we'll kill you. Now, thankfully, it's only a handful of bad actors that are coming here and killing our people. But could you imagine if they rose up and said, no, we're taking Arizona back? Would they be in the wrong for that? I mean, after all, one time, this was their land. This all belonged to them. Oh, it's warm. Got a long way back to the truck. I'll take another short video when we get back around, guys. Alright, guys, we're almost back to the truck here. You can see the dirt road down there I came in on, the old Kelvin Highway. Over there is the rest of that mine we've been looking at all day. Just take in for one last time the perspective, how deep that is, how vast that is, how much destruction they made over there. Now you compare that to all this land that's around it, all this landscape. You see that? This is what we have helped to destroy. All of this. This beauty right here is all destroyed over in that little valley. Now I'm going to continue down the trail here. Let you guys see at least some of the way back to the truck. Meander down to the left with me and to the right. Maybe we'll do a little dance or two. It's a nice easy hike. Not a lot of steep hills or climbs or anything. A lot of wildlife out today. See the trees are nice bright green. Had rain a couple days ago, so I'm sure that helped. Remember this week, as you guys continue your weeks, enjoy your families. Enjoy your times, enjoy your lives. Take a few minutes out to say I love you to everybody. Take a few minutes to show them just how much you care. A lot of big holes here. You see them little ones down there on the ground. I thought those were for like ground squirrels and stuff, but I was doing a little bit of research, and I guess out here when it gets real hot, some of the rattlesnakes will either dig a hole, they'll find the old holes for the gophers and the ground squirrels and whatnot, and they'll use those to stay out of the sun, get some shade, so they can stay cool. So now and then you'll see some rattlesnakes in those kind of holes. Pretty neat for me to learn that. I didn't know that. I figured they'd just get under some brush or a rock or something. But no, I guess they go in these little holes. So when you're hiking and you're walking, make sure you look at your feet, make sure you look at the ground, because the last thing you want to do is step on a hole that you didn't realize was there and get bit in the bottom of the foot. Because out here I've seen a whole lot of people hiking in just regular hiking shoes or tennis shoes, and you know, they're really not a whole lot of protection against some rattlesnake fangs. You can see that, guys, comparatively how much damage and destruction has been done, and how much they're going to do over at Oak Flat when they decide to start that copper mine. Now the government okayed the land transfer. No, I was never one to really want to stand up and say, no, that's Apache land, because technically it's not Apache land. That was Hokoham land. The Apache's land is in Canada. They came down, just like we did as the whites, and slaughtered thousands of natives. Thousands of them. But yet they still get the protections and the thoughts after the rest of the natives that they came and they slaughtered. I don't think that's quite right, but it's the way our government works. It's the way our people think. As I said, there was quite a few tracks out here this morning from wildcats. So I'm sure this is a nice little area that they like to play in, like to hunt in. But I didn't see any today. I mean, it would have been nice to maybe see one up on the hill or something, but glad I didn't come across one, because as you can tell by these droppings, it's a pretty big one. See all this red rock out here? You can tell it's rich soil. It's got a lot of minerals. Probably does have a little bit of copper content. I mean, out here they said it's 1.73% at the Ray mine. So I'm sure there's some gold and whatnot over on this side you could probably find, judging by the rock structure and some of the quartz I've seen. Glad they haven't been able to mine it or tear it up the way they did across the road, but you can see there has been, like that pile there, at least some explorations out here. Well, looking at that, that's even fairly recent. I wonder who's out here doing it. Wonder if we're on actual mining land right now or part of the federal land. I think we're on federal land. So that means somebody could be in trouble. They get caught out here digging and smashing around. Got to keep our eyes peeled today, guys. It's a hot one, so that means there's all sorts of poisonous creatures out. Them snakes and scorpions and big old lizards they got out here. Gila monsters. I guess they're not too aggressive, though. They're just pretty neat to look at. So maybe we'll get lucky one day and see one down crawling around. It's pretty neat, though, all the different color rocks out here. The reds, the blacks, some of the greens I've seen. Over here, the oranges, the reds, yellows. Just reminds you how vast and different each piece of our earth actually is. How it was created differently for different things. All right, all you dudes and dudettes, I'm back here at the lean-to right next to the truck. I want to say thank you for tuning in to this week's episode. Thank you to my sponsor, the Sugar Shack, where life's too short for boring desserts. I hope today's episode wasn't too boring either. Till I catch you guys next time, remember, get out there, enjoy your lives.